Okay. Bרוchim habayim. Today, I'm again live streaming, studying Hebrew. I'll be using the Routledge colloquial textbook. There's a link to in the description, as always. And I'm going to put together some words and vocabulary that YouTube tells me I'm live. Some words and vocabulary that I have already learned, and I'm just going to be honest with you. So באמת, אני לא רוצה לעשות את הסרטון היום. אני ממש עייף, and we'll see how long this goes. This, אולי הסרטון הזה, we'll say it's a little short, a little קצר. So if anybody's there, say hello. If you're not there, then I'll study on my own for a few, and then I'll keep it moving. Let's see. As always, I'll be using my Routledge colloquial. I was like, nobody said hello, but I realized I'm probably on a 30 or 60 second delay. So apologies if you watched me just, staring off into space for a minute. All right, let's see. I have my Veda Fun Time is here. This is Pipoca Quemada says hello. All right, so there's people out here. Hello. For those of you who are still learning Hebrew or haven't learned it yet, what I said at the beginning is I'm pretty tired. I don't really want to make this today. So it's probably going to be a little short, a little katsar. But can't stop. Got to study. Every day, a little bit. So let's see. I have my studio where I can see it. Don't want to share that screen with you. That's going to be recursive. All right, let's do this. I have my colloquial Hebrew textbook. I say colloquial Routledge Hebrew textbook. I have version 1, the first edition, which has its flaws. I've been working through version 2 with my wife on Saturdays, and it has repeatedly now in multiple places they've added vocabulary to the vocabulary lists, and then the lists and the actual vocabulary have gotten out of sync. So I'm starting to be a little annoyed at the Routledge colloquial series because it's really quite a wide range of sort of levels of editing. Some of them are very well organized and very well edited. The Persian one is amazing. But the Persian one seems to have been the best one so far. I haven't looked at it for French or Spanish. I assume those are probably pretty good because those languages get a lot more eyes on them. But we'll see. Tal says, Erev Tov. I should say Erev Tov to you, but let me ask you this. If it's, 3:30 in the afternoon, what would you say? Would you say Erev Tov? Would you just say Shalom? Would you say, I assume nobody's saying like, Achar Tzacharaim Tov, but let me know. What should I say? Snow says ni hao, and 这是不对啊，这是不对的语言. It's the wrong language. But hello right back at you. So Snow, shalom. I guess you could say ni hao and probably do well by about 2 billion people. Tzachaim tovim? Really? Okay. For some reason I thought, nah, that can't be right. All right, Tzachaim tovim. And Erev Tov to you. Vader says, Efshar le'agid achar hatzaraim tovim. Yeah, okay, so you can hear that I read slower than I than I generated, especially when I'm reading it on the other screen. So let's see, what do we have? I have new vocabulary here. Still in sort of, the food kind of restaurant side of things. And interestingly, in the new edition, they do have more of the grammar terms. So the older edition, they talk about verbs in terms of like conjugation group one with like special this and that and the other. In version 2 of the textbook, they say, they introduce lekabel, and they say that's a PL verb, and you'll see that in unit whatever. So that's an addition that's great. They say leazmin, to order, to command, to invite, is a he feel verb, and you'll see that in unit 9. I think it's 9 somewhere around there. In this version of the textbook, they do not. So let me see. I think. Let's see. We've got role play. So can I order אפשר לקבל? Can I get? Can I order? And I have questions for the native speakers about getting and ordering, specifically getting in English. And why is this just looping? Have I done something? I've done something totally wrong. Okay. Anyway, I have questions about getting and receiving, and so on. Because I know if I say like I'm going to go get myself some water, I would not use לקבל, but I'm not sure what I would use. So, Chris, hi, welcome, shalom, what is it, ברוך הבא. And let's see. So in this unit, you will learn, and see, they say more verbs in group one. So they don't say, what they're actually talking about is verbs like לעשות and לשתות and so on. Okay. So we have a dialogue. I think I went through this before and some of the vocabulary before. They actually added more vocabulary from the same dialogue. Dialogue hasn't changed, but there's more vocabulary in the vocabulary list, which is interesting. So I had a bunch of questions before. I think in this, let's see. Cultural notes, language points, roots with guttural letters. They call the throaty five. We talked about that a little bit. They lower the vowels. But let's see what we have here. They have a little discussion. We talked about et last time. And I've been studying. To be honest with you, I've been reviewing all of my Duolingo notes and vocabulary because I want to finish it up before they make changes that make it unusable, which is always kind of a looming threat. So we got up to dialogue 2, and this is actually what I had questions about. So we have Melzar, which is the waiter. Peter and Maya are we're back in the restaurant, and they just keep ordering things that they didn't read the menu. They're asking about stuff that's off menu. He's asking for shrimps in a kosher restaurant. It's a whole mess. But I don't really care about that. What I care about is the words here. So mukhanim lazmin. I would transliterate this, and they do transliterate this elsewhere as le. It's a schwa. It's like a unstressed syllable. But in my transliterations for everything, I say leazmin, and that's what you'll see on like Pealim if you look this up on pealim.com. So, and you'll notice lekabel, they do le, and then the apostrophe. The apostrophe is here. I have no idea why. Ostensibly, it's like, oh, look, it's a prefix, except for like lea is the prefix here, not le. So I have no idea. It's highly inconsistent, but it's something to be used to if you're ever studying Hebrew with anything, because what I have found is that nothing has consistent transliteration. And if it's a word that exists in English, they'll just spell it out in English and be like, but pronounce it like it's Hebrew. So, okay, muchanim leazmin. Muchan, it's a fun one. The root is related to preparing things. So are you prepared to order? Are you ready to order? I am assuming I could say like ani lo mukhan, like I'm not ready, ani lo mukhan. And I'm going to keep kind of working on that. But leazmin, to order. Okay, fine. I get that. You're ready to place an order. Mukhanim, mukhanot. I would be mukhan and feminine. Can somebody confirm? Is it mukhana or is it mukhanet? That doesn't sound right to me, but I could ask somebody to confirm, or I could just be responsible and go to a website. I'll share it with everybody. So I'm going to go to pealim.com. It does have a bunch of ads, but, that's the price you pay. And let's see. I'm going to type in here. I'll use their little clicky keyboard just for fun. So let's see. Mu. Is that yeah, there we go. Mu. See, everybody, I can write. Except for I did a vav instead of a nun. Okay, mukhan. Let's see what we get. It should be passive equivalent of yeah, okay. Muktal pattern. Ready or prepared. Seems like it's a adjective. So let's find out. Here's our ad. No, thank you. Okay. middle radical of this word disappears or turns into a vowel. I could probably blow this up to make it a little bit more readable for myself, let alone everybody else. Muchana. Okay. Muchan, muchana, muchanim, muchanot. Okay. And of course, I actually have recently been working on, let's see. Yeah, there we go. Muchan, muchana. So they highlight in red the stress syllable muchana. So ishti muchana, like my wife is prepared to, leazmin, to order. Muchanim, muchanot, and then down here is hachana, which I had been working on. So muchana, muchana. Cool. We'll keep this open just in case we need it later. And I'm going to move it so I can actually see everybody here, see your comments. Tal says muchana. Excellent. Okay. So she says, Ken, אפשר לקבל מרק גזר כמנה ראשונה בבקשה. So she's asking, אפשר לקבל מרק גזר, so מרק גזר, carrot soup. I think I looked over this vocabulary already. כמנה ראשונה. And I think I did talk about this because we talked about mana ikarit. And there's all sorts of, I have a lot of mnemonics that come from like Rabbi Nachman of Breslov. So Ikar, I know from a song that's based on sort of a quote from him. But point here is, I remember actually talking about this stuff. So kmana, I remember the ka, like as mana rishona, as I remember it from comme in French, like comme plat principal, je vais, I don't know, whatever. That's my connection. So Ken, אפשר לקבל מרק גזר למנה ראשונה. So can I get, right? I think in American that would be, can I do? Like, I'll just do ma gezer, k'mana rishona. But I want to understand lekabel. So I understand and insert joke about, becoming mekubal and understanding Kabbalah now. But I want to understand this verb and what else I can use for get. Because if I say I'm going to go into the kitchen and get myself a glass of water, I am 100% certain, and I could be wrong. Somebody can tell me if I'm wrong, but it feels real truthy that it would be some other verb than lekabel. Like lekabel is I receive something. So אפשר לקבל מרק גזר כמנה ראשונה. You'll notice I keep saying it. Yeah, it should be kamana. Yeah, the transliterations, people do play very fast and loose with them. So Vader Fun Time, I see you said just as I said, those transliterations aren't right. It should be kamana, not kmana. They play kind of fast and loose. Some of it, like for instance, leazmin, that's not a prefix. I mean, that's not a clitic or a different word. That's just part of the prefix. Whereas kmana or kamana, that's a clitic. So, I understand the apostrophe there. Bevakasha, it's sort of kind of hit or miss whether you use it there. So I see lakachat. Lakachat mayim. So lakachat is to take, right? And that one, let's look up the pealim for that, because the conjugations for that, because I know it's got some irregularities. The imperative, this is one of the ones where you actually use the imperative instead of the second person future. So let's do this. Boom. Lakachat. Can I type? Oh, I can. Okay. Oh, no, I can't. Okay. Let's do this. Lakachat. What is that? Kuf. Somebody spell that for me. Chet. That seems like it could be. Yes. All right. Lakachat. So our roots, lamed, kuf, and chet. And we have lakachat, lakacht, you took. Lakachta. Okay, blah, blah, blah. I'll click on this. Get the full conjugation. To take. Vader Fountain says, not even a schwa, it's a. So, like, kemana rishona, not kemana. Kemana. Kemana rishona, ani rotze. Or like, אפשר לקבל, what did she say? Marak gezer, which I guess I'm going to be eating a lot of carrot soup when I go to Israel for the first time. I forget falafel, forget, sabich. I know how to say marak gezer. Okay. Tal says Noam is right. It's a voiced schwa when it's at the beginning of a word, which is like, okay. It's a schwa. It's an unschwa. It's a schwa that's more. Okay. Sound, not the nikud. Yeah, that's we're kind of talking past one another right now, but the idea here is when you're speaking, what is it? And it sounds like it's kemana rishona, and it's a shortening, right, of kmo. Is that correct? Like to be like. Okay, let's see. The final radical of this word is guttural, so that's the chet. That affects adjacent vowels. So like, is going to have like an oach kind of thing going on instead of och. First radical can assimilate with the second radical in inflected forms. So the lamed goes away. So we have two exceptions here. My mouse is going slow, so I'm using the trackpad. All right, what do we have here? Let's look at this. Lokeach, exactly what I was thinking. Lokeach, lokachat, lokchim, lokchot. Easy for me to say. Lokchim. This is why I like Hebrew. Okay, past tense. Lakach, easy, and then you have all the suffixes. So, Chaim Shedi, if you're watching this is what I was trying to talk about the other day when I say we have like suffixes that relate to the pronouns that we already know. So you have lakach, and then lakachti, lakachnu, we took, lakachta, you took, lakacht. So like that's ata tacked onto the end. That's at tacked onto the end. Lakacht. Lekachtem. So this gets a little schwa-y. Actually, it is just a schwa here. Okay. Lekachtem, lekachten, which is probably less used, but I keep hearing opposite things. I see moving schwa that's pronounced as if it has a vowel, but still a schwa. So if we put it in sort of traditional terms, you end up with this like it's a schwa, but it's what? It's a voiced schwa. It's a moving schwa. It's a vibrant schwa. It's a schwa. It's a schwa with sauce. It's it's something. It's a spicy schwa, but it's still a schwa. Okay. All right. So lakachti, lakachnu, lakachta. I'm just trying to learn this now. Lakacht, lakachtem, lakachten, lakach. Third person singular. That's how we actually cite it. That's the citation form. Lakach, he took. Lakcha, lakchu. That's fun. Not so hard. The past tense I'm starting to get a handle on. But the future is going to be where it's interesting. So we have, instead of like tilkoch or something, which is what I naively would put together from a verb like lisgor, instead of that, we have tikach. Okay, so second person. Well, let's go third person. Yikach, and then feminine tikach. I should not do contrastive focus on that. So yikach, tikach, yikchu. Second person, tikach. And then you have the suffixes for feminine and for plural. So tikhi, tichu. Anybody who speaks a Romance language, I find it very helpful to think of second person that way, because it was very easy for me to remember the prefix in the future here is a T, because it's like tu, tui, whatever. Like I guess that's not a Romance language, but a European language. And so that one's a freebie. Nikach, that's anachnu. That's also nu, nosotros. So it feels very, very related. I should be clear. They are not, to anybody's knowledge, actually related. There's some sort of crackpot theories about like Semitic languages having some relation to Proto-Indo-European way back in the day, and Hittite's kind of a bridge there, but it's very... But this stuff feels kind of comfortable for that reason. So I speak, some European languages, and having the us form be like nu, nosotros, then nikach, a little bit easier. Having the second person tu, do, thou, a little bit easier to remember here. So what I have to remember is that the lamed goes away in the future. The other thing, and I've talked about this a bunch of times, but I'll never stop talking about this, the aleph, because it's a guttural, because it historically was a glottal stop, which is produced in the back of the throat, it brings the tongue back and down, and so it drops the vowel. So instead of, nikach, tichach, tichi, tikchu, yikach, tichach, yikchu, you have ekach. ekach, like here with the segol. So that's from a historical sound change. Okay, there's lots of good discussion of Schwa here, and whether or not Nikud fits modern Hebrew that well anymore. I think, yeah. Okay, and moving Schwa is something I'll find if I get into Nikud seriously. So I feel like there should be merch about like moving Schwa. All right, so I have gone over this. Let's see, it's lokeach, lokachet, lokachat, lokchim, lokhot, and then I got all my past tense stuff. That's actually surprisingly easy because it really, really historically actually is the pronoun just as Dr. Don Renge at University of Pennsylvania would say, just bunged onto the end of the word. And then there's some other, minor considerations there, but not super hard. So future doesn't have the lamed. It's kach, and that's it. So yikhu. Okay. All right. Now my question. There's two questions. One is the imperative here is kach and kchi, which come on, that's the best. Khu. If I say kchi, is that something that would be like what would you do if you were talking to somebody, you're friendly with them, you're not trying to be really aggro? Do you say kach or do you say tikach? Like, you'll take this. My understanding is that for a lot of verbs, you actually use the future, the appropriate future tense, second person. You'll do this, you'll do that, as a polite way of it being an imperative, which interestingly is more removed and kind of rude and aggro in English. Like, you will do this feels way ruder than please do this. But that some of the more high frequency words retain the imperatives, like sit and a handful of others. So do you say kach or do you say tikach? That's my first question for the viewers out there who speak Hebrew. While somebody is answering that for me, Simone or Simon underscore bravo X-ray says, do you know any Ladino? A little bit. I actually really do want to learn, and that's one of the main things that is motivating me to get back to Spanish. That and the fact that if I start making Spanish content on my YouTube channel, I'm certain to actually make a lot more money, because when I look at Google Trends, Spanish is what everybody's searching for, what everybody's interested in, what everybody wants to learn. I should probably just do it if I want to be smart about making money on YouTube. But are you attracted to the message? Well, I'm still answering. So I know a little bit. But mostly stuff that you would come across in songs. So Ocho Candelicas, that kind of thing, but not much real Ladino. I've watched some of the interviews that are on YouTube with Ladino speakers on Wiki Tongues and whatever else. It's really interesting. It has its own sort of divergent trajectory after sort of Middle Spanish, much like Yiddish has its own divergent trajectory from non-standard dialects of Middle High German. Okay, I would say kach. If I gave someone something, somebody says it really depends on word and situation. So kach, take this, right? Take this. Have this. This really doesn't line up with English. Okay, what do we have? Noam says, I usually say kach, even though for most verbs we use the future form. Dal says, yep, for many we use the future, but it has more to do with habits and less with politeness or closeness. That makes sense to me, because all the ones that I've read that you suppose that you actually retain the imperative they're ones where they're much more high frequency, and those are the things that are much more likely to retain irregularities in any language. So in most languages, words like do or go retain all sorts of irregularities. In English, you have go and went instead of go and goed, and so on. All right, so a lot of votes for kach. Insert joke here. Next question that I have is, what are some instances where I would use this? Because I see, again, I'm thinking about this in terms of efshar lekabel, right? Can I get? So would I say, I'm going to go get myself some water? I'd say ani, if I'm doing it right now, ani lokeach kos mayim, I'm getting a cup of water. Is that something that you would say? And if not, how would I say it? Or I'm going to go get something from the store, right? I guess I could say I'm going to buy something from the store, but like if I'm procuring an item, if I'm securing an item, if I'm any sort of prefix curing an item in English, what do I say? Vader Funtime says, I think it's Vader? Nederlands? Yeah? Says, I think it has more to do with the length of the imperative versus the future form. The imperative is one syllable. We tend to use it. That makes sense to me too. And honestly, a lot of things in Hebrew can be one syllable even if they shouldn't. Like chi. I love it. This is really the romance and the appeal of Hebrew, and it's funny to me because there's a thing here where people. Okay, so not really for to see, for example, no one says re'eh but tir'eh. Yeah, okay. Ani olech le. I'm going to. Right, but if I'm like I'm going. Ani olech lekach mayim. I'm going to go get some water. Okay, that makes sense to me. Thank you, Snow. Xie Snow. Yeah. So this what I was saying just a moment ago was as I'm looking at these words like chi, I'm serious when I say that's sort of the romance of the language. People will talk about French is romantic and Italian is like passionate or whatever. And obviously these are all stereotypes about the people. People also have ideas about certain languages sounding more or less attractive, which is why you get this, the great Instagram and YouTube content about like romantic Vietnamese pronunciations of English words. If you haven't seen those, just look it up. They're delightful. It's seductive pronunciations of English words or, words from English. They may be originally French or whatever else, spoken in Vietnamese, and it is a delight. I think that one of the things about Hebrew is that like the consonant clusters that are just impossible in English, for me that's fun. I recognize that kind of thing might annoy other native English speakers because it's like that shouldn't happen. It can't be done. And then you have all this stuff. But like there's two different ways that you can approach languages. And I think most of the people who follow my channel are probably in the same camp as me, which is like, that's really cool no matter what it is. So like, if it's the secondary articulations of tone in Vietnamese, you'd be like, that's really cool, instead of like, oh, I hate it. And so I really was serious when I say like chi is delightful. And I'm very glad to hear that I can say like, what, can I say like chiatze? Like take this from me, chiatze. Or if I hand my wife a glass of water, a kos mayim, can I just say chi? This stuff, textbooks are not really great about. Grammars are, they say all sorts of stuff, but then when I talk to real people, you all say different things. So I really like being able to ask these questions. Okay, let's see. We have discussions of whether it's one syllable. Intellectualize, hello. It says, I would usually say kach, but probably not 100% of the time, and it wouldn't sound noticeably strange to a native speaker to say tikach, right? Tikach, yeah. So I'm looking at the the comments, and then I have to look back at my desktop so I can actually see like, where's the stress on this? Okay. So it wouldn't sound strange to say tikach in any context you can think of. Noam says, but tal, tir'eh, and re'eh are both the same length. Aha, to quote Eddie Murphy. Intellectualize says, like Noam said, I'm going to say it's roughly equivalent to ani olech la, but ani omed la, as I'm standing to, is roughly equivalent to I'm about to. That's excellent. So instead of standing as like a habitual, which happens in a lot of languages, like Zulu, for instance, I think they have sitting as well. I'm about to, I'm standing to is like I'm on the verge to. So ani omed le, and then what? Ani omed lalechet. I'm about to go. Was that? These are great. Ani omed. I'm standing to do something, meaning. Je suis sur le point de, like I'm at the point of doing. I'm about to. That is great. This stuff is not in the textbooks, I'm telling you. This is great. Okay. Snow confirms for me that I would just say chi. I love it. I love it so much. This is why I was interested in Moroccan Arabic in the first place. It's just consonant clusters. Okay, Intellectualize says you can say chiet, okay. Chietse. Sorry, they kind of cross over when you use English and Hebrew in the comments. It gets rendered weirdly across lines, so that took me a moment. So you can say kri or krietse. All right. Bold of you to assume we don't love it and hate it at the same time, says Large Dark Rooster. Fair. I understand that. I have a very good friend who's exactly that way, where she's like, oh, I hate it so much. It's so stupid. I love it. It's like deadlifting. It's good for you. I hate deadlifting. It's also my favorite thing to do. All right. So, Ani omed lalechet. No, I'm confirmed. I'm about to go. Ani omed lalechet. That's awesome. I love that. Inger, hello from Norway. Finally caught live stream. I'm glad to see you here, and you can feel free to correct me on the pronunciation of your name. I always, as I'm reading the chat, I read all sorts of weird stuff. There was one that I was convinced was mulm, and it was mu, I'm, yada yada yada. Okay. Noam Tashma says more. Okay, about to go. I'm about to go stand. Ani omed lalechet laamod. I'm about to go stand. I love it. So that's like, just before, you know, I don't know, the rabbi's Kaddish or something. Anyway, okay. All right, let's go back to this textbook. I think I'm getting the hang of this. So I have some stuff. I should probably write down somewhere. Ani omed lichtov et se, right? I'm about to write that down. So we're talking about lekabel versus lalechet. What lakachet. Where's my stress? Let's see. Lokeach. Oh, it's all the way at the bottom. Lakachat. To take. And I assume, but somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, that we don't say to take like very fancy British or sort of French, like I take my tea in the afternoon, right? Like, can you say like ani lokeach Deishali, like is it et deishali, like the tea of me? I'm guessing you don't say that unless you're actually like physically displacing your tea to take it somewhere. Would you say la kabel there? La kabel, like ani la kabel. I have tea in the afternoons. I take tea at 4. I don't know. I doubt this is going to be the most useful thing for me to say, but I'm just super curious about it. My pronunciation is fine. I should do Norwegian next. I have never had a reason to do so, but I hear, I mean, it's a great language, and it's a beautiful countryside. I don't know if Chaim Shali, if you're watching, should we go on vacation to Norway? Just a thought. We can do those wingsuit dives in the gorges. By the way, about Mikubal, it's a synonym for someone popular in school. Wow, I only know that as like Kabbalists, like in the holy city of Tzfat, like the people who are gonna say like gematria and like tell you like the letters add up to this and that also adds up to that, and Dovid adds up to 7, but Zahav adds up to 7, and there's a reason for like that's my idea of Mekubal, but someone popular in school, that's cool. Is there any relation to that, or is it just like they're well received, I guess? Okay, I would not say you just use drink, so anishote. Well, that's fun. Okay, that's fine. It's fine. Nothing special there. Okay, so Ken, אפשר לקבל מרק גזר כמנה ראשונה. בבקשה. בבקשה. Meltzar, the waiter, says, we're just going back to this, ואתה אדוני? And he says, salat chatzilim bevakasha. So he wants the, what is it, eggplant salad. And the Meltzar mitzta'er. Oh my God, why is my scrolling going? There we go. Okay. Salat chatzilim bevakasha. Ani mitzta'er. With a dash in there for no reason. That's fine. Okay, so socially accepted. Who? So I could say like, if I pick a random person like Yoav Mikubal Meod or something, like it's sort of adjective. Okay. If I'm drinking tea, I'd simply use lishtot. All right. Okay. Ani mitzta'er, I am sorry. So that's a hitpa'el verb, which we'll learn in some later chapter. En yoter chatzilim. And I should probably move where I am so you all can see this. Let's see if I can adjust my screen stuff. Let me move myself over here. I'm over here now. Okay. Let's look at this transliteration. En yoter chatzilim. There's no more. Now, I looked up yoter because I couldn't figure out what was going on with od versus yoter. And anybody else who's confused about this, yoter is like more than. In this case, I think the implication is more than zero. Like we no longer have any more than zero. Versus od is like again. Like I want more. Do it again. So, more. This is the dash because it's an ein there. I think the dash is because in transliteration you would just have two vowels side by side, and they don't want you to pronounce it air or something, but it's two syllables, I think, is what they're trying to communicate here. So ani mitzta'er. Ani mitzta'er. I'm sorry. I think I might have said that at the beginning, like ani mitzta'er, ani lo rotze la'asot et ze, ani ayef meod, ani mamash ayef. Okay, so ani mitzta'er, I'm sorry, which is related to some other stuff. The roots are interesting there. En yoter chatzilim, aval yesh salat yevani. Yevani is Greek and it's related to Ionian. I said od means more, not again. Yeah, no. Again is yeah. Matt, correct. I'm thinking od is like I want more, versus yoter is like more than this. Like yoter me whatever. And in this case, like yoter me nothing. yoter me klum. But it's for a non-native speaker, I find it's a little tricky to remember when to use od and when to use yoter, having just seen them a bunch of times without actually Googling, as I did, od versus yoter. Okay, salat yevani, Greek salad. That's with the feta cheese and the olives and the, what is that, zaitim, the gvina levana, like all that. Okay, Peter says, oy chaval, which sounds like oy gewalt, which is going to be super easy to remember. So we have Yavani, Yavan, yeah. Makes me wanna cha. Okay, so oy chaval, which I love. Oy chaval. Efshar leazmin shrimps. No, dude, this is a kosher restaurant. Lo ani mitzta'er. So again, you get that twice in this. Zot misada kshera. Now, I mentioned this in a previous video that I made, but it's not kosher. That's an American like reading pronunciation of an Ashkenazi pronunciation of a Yiddish pronunciation of a Hebrew word, and in modern Hebrew it's kasher, kshera, I guess ksherim, ksherot. Okay, so lo ani mitzta'er zot misada kshera, and he goes oy slicha, which is, oh, I'm sorry, whoopsie, I guess. Ulai yesh tuna tria or dag forel bepitriot. So can I have fresh tuna or dag forel bepitriot? Or what is that, trout? Somebody tell me, trout with mushrooms. Why he's asking this instead of like looking at the menu? Crazy. I see some discussion of comparing to another language. So I would use od for I want more, and yoter as a comparison, something like I want to have more soup than him. Chris says, thank you, intellectualize. Excellent comparison to Russian that also explains why yoter is used in comparatives. Okay. So, Meltzar, lo ani be'emet. I always want to say be'emes. Ani be'emet mitzta'er. Ein tuna v'forel. There's no tuna, there's no forel. Like, you should have looked at the menu, dude. Did I not give you the tafrit? Like, ifo tafrit. Okay. Ma bishvil hagveret. So he just gives up on Peter. I love this. He's like, and what for the lady? Ma bishvil hagveret. My understanding is that it's like the misses. So gever is, it's ish and isha, but gever is like sort of default now for like a guy or a man, and that historically is from hero, like gibor, that kind of like strong root, and hagveret is the feminine here. So ma bishvil hagveret. He literally just gives up. We don't have those. What do you want, Maya? And she says, yesh pashtida? יש פשטידה בפטריות כמנה עיקרית. So do you have mushroom quiche? כמנה עיקרית. And I mentioned עיקר. Yes, Zerval, hello. Good to see you. People have questions in the chat that you may be equipped to answer along with Tal and the others here. So ikar, I learned, is like the main thing. So in this case, kmana ikarit, it's the main mana, the main meal. Is mana, I just realized, probably going to be easy to remember because of mana, like from heaven, the food. So that's going to be my mnemonic. And then ikar is like, the main thing to remember is not to be afraid at all, right? So, vehaikar, lo lefached. That's how I remember lefached. Lo lefached klal. Lots of songs, lots of like repetition of the same word in songs. Meltzar, lo, aval yesh of bepitριot. So no, but we have chicken with mushrooms, and Maya goes, aval ani tzimchonit, which would have worked in a kosher restaurant. At least she's not ordering shrimps. So ani tzimchonit. Meltzar, ma la'asot? Like, what can I do? I should probably listen to this and see what his intonation is, but my intonation is like, ma la'asot? What do you want from me? Anachnu, I don't know why they have this stressed here for us, like we don't know that, but okay. Anachnu misada meod popularit. We're a very popularit, meod popularit. I see meod before and after the adjective, so somebody tell me which feels the best. I see a retracted message that I missed from Iman Fater. Patrick, math is cool. All right, I missed that. Dish, mana. Math is cool indeed. Not meal. Right, not meal. Not. I'm thinking course, like your main course, your first course. Mana rishona, mana ikarit, and I'm sure we'll learn a couple more in a moment. So, מה לעשות? אנחנו מסעדה מאוד פופולרית. Can I say אנחנו מסעדה פופולרית מאוד? And when would I say mamash? And where's the stress? Those are my questions. Okay, Peter, אין דבר. So, never mind. I'm not that feels like that could be a weird translation that they have here. אין דבר. אנחנו הולכים למסעדה פחות פופולרית. And if I wanted to say what I just learned, אנחנו עומדים ללכת למסעדה פחות פופולרית. We're about to go to a less popular restaurant. I love the sass. Like, he comes to a kosher restaurant, doesn't read the menu, asks for shrimps, then asks for a bunch of stuff that's just not on the menu. Mamash. Oh, see, that's... Zevel, I'm doing good. How are you? So a guy says mamash, and I want to say like... I want to say like mamash, like in like make it like Yiddish. Okay, mamash, be'emet. Mamash, okay. And I see, yes, I can say that. Mamash and meod both apply. Mamash works. Okay. So we're about to go to a less popular restaurant. אנחנו עומדים ללכת למסעדה פחות פופולרית. So for those of you who are just joining, we learned that to stand can also, like to stand to verb can mean you're about to do something, which is great. Very cool. All right, מוכנים, we learned מוכן, מוכנה, מוכנים, מוכנות. להזמין, you'll notice they don't say anything about the fact that this, in this version, that it's a hifil verb that you'll learn more about later and so on. And we saw these. יווני, חבל, kasher, so ulai. Where did we use ulai? That didn't stand out to me. Oh, it's doing this. It's doing that weird thing again. Okay. So, page 61. There's got to be an ulai in here. Okay, אפשר לקבל מהגזק כמנה ראשונה. סלט חצילים, אני מצטער, אין יותר חצילים, אבל יש סלט לבני, אוי חבל, אפשר להזמין שרימפס. לא, אני מצטער, זאת מסעדה כשרה, which, like, how did you not notice? They have a big sign on the window. They got a netilat yadayim station. They got a little sign by the bathroom for you to say, okay, אולי יש טונה טריה או דג פרל בפטריות, so that's maybe you have. That's not how I would teach maybe as an introduction. Mamash is more slangy. Yeah, mamash, every time I've heard any version of mamash in English, Yiddish, Hebrew, they've been cool. They've been cool people. I want to sound like them. They sound like Like they know it's up. Okay, in the vibe, yeah. Patrick says it's amazing how much words stick in our heads. I was working for an Israeli family at their house yesterday and thinking about what I could remember from my streams, and chicken came into your head. Um, how'd you learn Hebrew? Well, I watched somebody else learn it. Off, I think, is chicken when it's just food, right? It's whereas tarnegol and tarnegolet is the thing. Okay. And Zevel says sign. Okay. Definitely. Oh, a lot of comments coming in. Definitely translates to lo meshane. Never mind. Lo meshane, right? Doesn't change it. Let's see. Kosher restaurants don't necessarily look kosher. That's fair. That's a lot yadayim in the toilet. that's permissible, but not as the first thing that you do. L'chatchila. Okay, then I wound up a party that was all recent immigrants from Iran. Remembered quite a bit of words. Just got to show it. Patrick, that's awesome. I love hearing that. I just live stream me studying, and you're going to go out and be the most interesting man in the world. They say, how did you learn Farsi? And you say, I watched a live stream. That's delightful. Oh, it's of birds even when they're not food. Then what's tarnegol? What's tarnegolet? Okay, Levantine Arabic stream. Chris, I'm definitely getting on that tomorrow because I'm running out of time before I go speak to somebody. I'm a little annoyed at that textbook too, but we're going to work it all out. I want to have questions in mind that I can ask and, I don't know, pretend to understand the answer. Okay, cultural note, kosher food. This is not an explanation of kashrut, and that's too complicated for a textbook, so don't even worry about it. Then they say adjectives agree, so erev tov, tovet tova, shratim tovim. And we went through some of these last week, some of these adjectives, so should be easy to remember. Obviously, rach is soft. Hot, that's cham. I remember that there's verbs that come out, so like mechamim. Mechamem is to heat something up, and also Baal Cham, the Lord of Furnaces, is what the Carthaginians sacrificed their children to. So that's it's stuck in my head. Adjectives and definite nouns. Okay, misadot ksherot, and then you add the ha when it's definite, so hamisadot haksherot. That should be relatively easy to remember. And then they want us to say these things, which translates to following. I'm not even going to do that. I'm just going to translate it. So tasty apples, that would be tapuchim te'amim. A cold night, that would be laila kar. The new house, that would be habayit hachadash. The old buses, that would be haotobusim hayashanim. And the mushrooms are big, would be hapitriot hen gdolot, right? So without the ha. I see intransitive, feminine, chicken, tarnegolet, and feminine. Yeah, okay. Let's see. There's some good stuff. So lo meshane, azov, and lo meshane are both more applicable compared to ein davar, which sounds very formal and old school. I figured ein davar is like, it sounds formal and old school to you, but to me, I hear it ain't no thing, right? Like literally, no thing. So I'd say lo meshane, like okay. And is that Azov? Azov, okay. Making me think of like the Ukraine Azov battalion or something. Now that's, I'll have to look that up in a minute. Okay, yesh and ein, super easy. Yesh is there is, ein is there isn't. This is the same as like, I don't know, some languages do this. Classical Chinese does this. That's what the u in classical Chinese is. It's ein. So like, wait, like without the, I'm thinking about like Taoist poetry right now. You see those like oohs are the same as ein. Okay, so there are tourists in the restaurant. Yesh tayarim b'misada. I'll say there aren't. Ein tayarim b'misada. Probably a better restaurant. There's no whiskey at home. Ein whiskey. Freebie right there. Ein whiskey b'bayit. Okay, exercise 10. Uri is a fussy eater. His mother looks in the fridge to see what she can offer him. Complete the dialogue. I don't really care. But what I will do is learn the vocabulary. So lechem, that one's easy, freebie for me. Gvina, cheese. Gvina levana, white cheese. Is that a specific thing? Is that like Greek cheese? Is that, What is that? I assume there's layers, different descriptors for cheese. Butter, chem'a. Olives, zaitim. I think zaytun in Arabic. Omelette is chavita. Chavita. What is this? Chavita. So, something going on here. I hear my baby sounds like she's resisting a nap right now. You say whiskey with a W, not a V? Okay. All right. Whiskey. So I'll just say whiskey. Whiskey. Okay. And etzem, actually, that's good. And etzem, that's like bone. So like historically from like the root or core of something, if I remember correctly. So be'etzem. Be'etzem. And that's somewhere in this dialogue. I hate this stuff where it's like, fill it in. Fill in number one. Yesh something ta'arim. Salat. They're really annoying when they do that. Lechem, gvina, I guess levana. Chem'a, zaitim, marak. These exercises are not the most fun in the world. There's something off. So I don't really care. So be'etzem, I'm sure I'll see later as I look things up. Actually, I could try a little bit of... let's do this. Let's go to reverso context. It's another tool that I like. Let's go Hebrew to, not French, to English. Hebrew to French is playing on hard mode. I gotta switch my keyboard now. Be'etzem. All right, how do they have this? They have this be'etzem. Be'etzem. Actually, really. In fact, basically, essentially sounds good. So what do we have? The red pegs show how far we actually got. Okay. Despair. Let me make this so you can actually see it. Be'etzem. Yeah. I don't know if I'd use that there. Who knows? I don't know. Despair can actually be very fertile ground for hope. That's ein shum yeush. So hayeush. That's, by the way, another Rabbi Nachman of Breslov, but this time I'm thinking of a what's that group? It's two guys. They do some great music. They're kind of all over the place in terms of music, but they're Hasidish and they do like lots of Hasidish music. They're named after another rabbi, and I can't remember their name for the life of me, but they had one. Okay, so Hayeush, was that Asui? This is a lot here. Let's not sign in. Because sports and women is really all we talk about. זה בעצם כל מה שאנחנו מדברים עליו. Okay, so that's a good one. זה בעצם כל מה שאנחנו מדברים עליו. Okay. What is this? כי ספורט ואנשים. Reversal context, somebody asked about this. It's not AI generated for the most part. Some of their translations, if they have sentences, it's not AI. Their translations could just be AI. But this is mostly from caption, subtitles. So let's see. Oh, Tri'im. Thank you, Veda Funtime. I said that a while ago, but thank you. Okay, I must accept the fact I never really knew you. Okay. The best idea is sound bad, but are in fact good. Okay, so what is that? Rayonot. What is that? המוצלחים ביותר. שמים רע, אבל הם בעצם טובים. Okay. Okay, so I can get this. In fact, actually, I see the general sort of semantic space that be'etzem is inhabiting here. Okay, cultural notes. These are the main meals of the day. Arochat boker, arochat tzacharaim, arochat erev. Cool. As in many Mediterranean countries, lunch in Israel is often the main meal of the day rather than supper. School days finish around lunchtime and smaller shops have a closer break. Children often go home to eat. Awesome. However, this is changing. Offices tend to work right through and many more people take a snack in the middle of the day. An Israeli breakfast is often a lavish affair. Levash. Okay, especially in Israeli hotels and guest houses where guests can look forward to a large array of dishes. Many hotels offer not only the assortment of pastry, breads, and rolls, lachmaniot, so lechem, lachmaniya, that's a little lechem. That makes sense for me as a roll. So lechem, lachmaniya, lachmaniot with jam, riba, or ribot, I guess, with jams. A continental European breakfast, but also more savory dishes. Cheeses, gvinot, we learned that. Pickles, chamutzim, and salted fish, dag maluach. Melach is salt, so maluach has got to be the passive there. Salads and eggs cooked in various ways. So salatim, vibetzim. Muchanim, right? Prepared in various ways. Soft and hard-boiled and scrambled. So betzim rakot and kashot. So that's, we just learned, rach and kashe. So rakot and kashot, betzim, rakot and kashot. Betzim is one of those weird ones where it's feminine but it looks masculine. So betza, betzim, betzim, rakot, betzim, kashot. Ani ma'adif, right? I prefer. Let's say ani ohev. But ani ma'adif, is that prefer, or am I picking? Am I just pulling the wrong word out of my brain? I think it's prefer. Ani ma'adif betzim kashot. I see we're going through thing and bone and all. Okay, yeah, lots of good. Have I ever seen those kusish books in French? I have. I love them. And I actually was looking at something like that in English at a bookstore literally today. And my wife was like, "Why are you looking at the kids' book? Is that for a kid?" And I was like, "No, it's for me. If I can find these in other languages, I just want to read them all about everything." For those of you who don't know what I'm sort of rabidly, excitedly rambling about right now, they're these like short books about one topic, but it's like, relatively large print, and it's like perfect for a language learner to do that like leisure reading, comprehensible input thing. Now, what I do have for Hebrew is Gesher books. So some of them are very easy, some of them are very difficult. They're kind of graded readers. So like Sipurim Lechagim, stories for festivals, and this is Pesach in particular. Ech Sofrim, right? So how to count. This is by it's a Helm story, and then a little bit more complicated stuff. So like Yerushalayim v'Sefarad, and various different things. They start really simple. So there's one that I have about Chana Senesh. And that's very, very simple. And then there's, Menorat HaZahav, Menorat HaZahav, which is a little bit more like a book, right? It's got all the vowels, and they have a few footnotes, if you can see this, of, and I'll make myself actually full screen here as I continue. But they have vowels, and they have footnotes with translation, and they're graded readers. They're actually very like, you have to find them online, but Gesher is the series. They sometimes come used. This is one of them that I mentioned a moment ago. There we go. And similarly, I'll show you this again. So Menorat HaZahav. I'll get my face out of there so it actually focuses. There we go. And to give you an idea, they really are like a real book. It's just got vowels. So I like these a lot, but they are a little hard to find online. Let's see. Yes. Okay. The baby. I'm getting an update on my Dick Tracy watch here. She's been fussy. She's been fussy at nap time. She goes to sleep and then she immediately wakes up. We think she's teething. Okay, so sorry about like ranting about that stuff, but I really think that those kinds of books can be really good. The hard thing with a language like Hebrew is like, I need to know what the vowels are, and so it's hard to read for leisure and get a lot of words that way. And Patrick said, "I really thought they were more like the Oxford very short introduction series." They are, but I really like that kind of stuff. Okay, so ma'adif. Okay, lachmania. Oh, intellectualize tells me that lachmaniot are longer, maybe like a little baguette kind of bun. Okay, let's see. Betzim mekush mekushkashot. 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 So that's gonna be an adjective that's derived from a PL verb, right? Maybe the passive version of whatever it is. And the roots are, the double root. So this is like mevazbez, mefasfes, right? Mekashkesh, right? If I'm going to scramble something. Yeah, Zevel said, I like beitzim beofen klali, right, in general, and then had to specify chicken eggs because in many, many languages, beitzim, jitan, like, they mean something else that are what they resemble on the male anatomy. So, mekushkashot, beitzim mekushkashot, quadruple root verb. I love those sort of onomatopoetic, quadriliteral, like however they call them, those verbs. I love those. They're fun. Okay, mekushkashot. Betzim mekushkashot. Can you use mekushkashot? Yeah, it's pual. Okay. Can you use mekushkash as like euphemistically? Like I'm a little scrambled. I'm a little like I'm thinking about this like in French. I know on se débrouille. Like we'll scramble ourselves. Like we'll figure it out. So to chatter or chat. Le kashkesh is to chat or chatter. Okay. Le kashkesh is to scribble. Chatter, chat. Okay. Okay. And what is it? Mevalbel is to be, so mevulbal, is that correct for I'm confused? Ani mevulbal? But I'm not mekushkash. Sevel says no. Okay. All right, so scrambled eggs, beitzim, mekushkashot. And this is one of those ones, like when you're going through these textbooks, they have all these sort of extra things. You're not going to see this again anywhere in the textbook. They just kind of drop this in here. So that's part of why I'm trying to spend time memorizing beitzim rakot, beitzim kashot, beitzim mekushkashot. And let's see. Inger is talking about LingQ, which I am reluctant. I've been reluctant. For those of you who haven't followed or are unfamiliar with it, it's a resource for language learning that is by a YouTube internet polyglot, and I don't have anything against him. I think LingQ is probably fine, although I haven't used it. He just kind of rubs me the wrong way, and I think he does really good stuff for people for language learning and for inspiring other people. So more power to you if he speaks to you. I think rubs me the wrong way is maybe a little strong. It just doesn't really speak to me. Mevulbal is confused. Ani mevulbal. Ani lo mekushkash. Ani mevulbal. Okay. Moach sheli mekushkash. Can I say that? My brain's a little scrambled? Or have I said my skull? I don't know. I'm getting there. Okay, role play. No. Efshar likabel, efshar leazmin. Can I order? Yesh lechem, do you have? Right here. I could have learned this if I just scrolled down. Ani ma'adif. I was trying to remember it from my, copious notes on Duolingo. Ani bedieta. That's what is that? Regime in French and regime in Farsi. Ani ochel or ani ochelet rak ochel kasher. Okay, I keep kosher. Could you say ani shomer kashrut? I keep kosher. Shomer kasher. I don't know how you would say that. Lo yoter midai, not too much. La, that's incorrect. That is a typo here. Lo yoter midai shamen, so not so much, not too greasy. I see in the chat, Jones the musician. Do I like John Zorn? I don't have a lot of. I don't know a lot of John Zorn, so I'll get back to you next week. I'll listen to stuff. So lo yoter midai shamen. Shem tov mishamen tov. Like, okay, whatever. A good name is better than than good oil. It's fattening. Ze mashmin. So look at this. Shamen is greasy or fatty or oily or buttery, and it's fattening. Ze mashmin. I have the feeling that Sippy Littleton is concerned about keeping her figure. I don't know. I like. There's a lot here. Like ani b'dieta, ze lo yoter midai shamen, ze mashmin, ani lo rotze. Like it's too much. Like it's too fatty. Like just eat the falafel. It's fine. Maspik toda. That's enough. Thank you. Maspik. Ani b'dieta. I'm gonna have a two, like I'm gonna have a completely different character in Hebrew. If I ever like am in a restaurant, I'd be like, maspik toda, ze mashmin, ani b'dieta, ani lo ochel. The Inger says, not a fan of coffee either, but the resource is still excellent. I need to check it out then because I think they have reached out to me. I get sponsorship inquiries all the time, and there are a few that I have turned down. And there's one in particular, and I won't say who it is, but I will say that their publicist emailed me and said that I should interview them on my channel because they speak over 100 languages. And I said, no, they don't. So I'm thinking I may want to say, yes, I will do the interview on the condition that it is live on my channel that I control, that I am paid for my time, and that I can ask questions in any of the 100 languages you claim to speak. And I'll need a list of that 100 languages, of course, so that I can prepare for that. Just yeah. Let me know if I should do that. I don't know. I may do that. Bar Kochba is a good album to introduce myself. That's Zorn is Bar Kochba. I'm gonna check it out. Zella says, once I learn Hebrew, please make a book. Just give me 5 to 10 years. I don't know. Honestly, at this point, I feel like I should. And I was thinking about this with Zulu because I studied Zulu for quite a while and I just didn't learn it. And I'm looking at it. I don't think Routledge has Zulu. And I understand the format of their textbooks now. So I kind of want to go talk to Dr. Nonhlanhlan and say, let's do it. I understand this and I need to learn Zulu. You know Zulu and you teach it, and like let's make it happen. I don't know how helpful that will be for a lot of people or how much money it'll make them, but I think it should exist, and I'd like to, be the change I wish to see in the world. Okay, I see some chat here before I'm gonna wrap up pretty soon. Mamash mashmin. Mamash mashmin. That's like aval od lo maspik. It's really fattening, but it's still not enough. That's the tahina on your chem'a, on your lachmanya. Okay, did I talk to Easy Hebrew? I haven't talked to anybody yet. It's been a busy week. Okay, let's take a look at some more food related vocabulary, and then I'm gonna call it a day. And maybe next time we'll like learn some other stuff. I'm just glad that I remembered Ma'adif. I learned Omed, so like I should start doing a review at the end of like, what did we all learn? For those of you learning with me. All right, first courses, Manot Rishonot. So we learned Mana Rishona, Manot Rishonot is a plural. They have a little helpful transliteration here for some. So Salat Chatzilim we learned, Salat Yerakot. So green salad, Salat Mayonnaise. Somebody please tell me what that is. Sounds like mayonnaise salad, and I don't know what that means. Dag maluach, so salty fish. I would order that just because I don't exactly know what it is. Hummus, yesh lanu hummus. Story time, real quick. I was at a cafe one time, and there was an Israeli woman there, and there was a American guy behind the counter. It was a slow time. He was dipping carrots into hummus. And it was like store-bought, like not very good, whatever. And he's eating that, and the woman who I think, if I recall, her name may have been Maya, like in this thing. I don't remember. Anyway, she's like, "What are you eating?" And he's like, "I'm eating hummus." And she's like, "What is that? That is hummus." And he's like, "Oh, hummus, like hummus." And she's like, "I don't. What you are talking about hummus?" And he's like, "Yeah, it's hummus. It's like made out of chickpeas." And she's like, "Can you show me?" And so he shows her, and she's like, hummus. And he's like, yeah, hummus. She's like, what is hummus? And he's like, what did you say? She's like, hummus. Why you not say hummus? Like, the hummus. Why you not say that? It was delightful. They had a whole misunderstanding, and it was purely, she was like, oh, hummus. Why you not say hummus? And it's been a running joke for us since we witnessed this actually happen. So I come across as super rude because I'm like, why you not say hummus? Aval tov, eh? Okay, what do we have? Avocado. So it's a millennial situation here. Main courses, manot ikariyot. So we learned ikar, vehaikar. Ooh, bakar. It's beef. Okay, what do we have? Steak, bakar. Off, bepitriot. So we learned that. Rotev is related to ratav, like to be wet. Picanti. Okay, so a little spicy. Tuna bagril. Vegetarian, manot simchoniot. So this is nice. We actually learned a lot. Risotto, lasagna. Look at this. Why is this transliterated with an S? It's transliterated with an S because that's how it's spelled in English, but then why not just do a G? Anyway, lasagna with a zayin. Okay. Pashtidat broccoli. Sounds delicious. Manot achronot. So dessert is acharon, after. Manot achronot. And you have mousse. Mousse chocolate, glidot, יש לנו וניל, יש לנו תותים, סלט פירות, so fruit salad. What do we have? Ugat gvina, so cheesecake. This reminds me, by the way, that there was a while back when there was, oh no, you're talking about hummus. So this reminds me that back when Twitter was Twitter and not X, there was a whole discussion about like you could put together any two nouns in Hebrew and it sounds like the name of a synagogue somewhere, which to English speakers it totally does. So like, the part of congregation Ugat Gvina was one of the jokes that somebody put up there. Congregation Salat Perot. Because it's all like Ahavat Chesed and Anshe Chesed and Bnei Jeshurun and Olam Tikva and like it's noun. Yesh lanu strudel. What is this? Strudel tepuchim, apple strudel. Oh, I bet that's good. I really want strudel tepuchim cham ve glida vanille. That would be perfect, right? Just on top. Can you say it like a la mode if you want it with ice cream? I see. Dessert is, what is that? Quinoa? Also for dessert, quinoa? Am I pronouncing that right? Quinoa? This is one of the most important words I need to learn, so I want to get this right. Sounds like manot achronot sounds like a little fancy, but like I need to be able to ask for glidot. If there's one thing that motivates me to learn a language, it is dessert. Okay, יש לנו strudel תפוחים, יש לנו מבחר. Oh, choice of, bocher, okay. Bachar. מבחר, gvinot, choice of cheeses. Perot, plural trim. Okay, so fresh fruits. I don't know how that's different than salat perot. I guess they're not cut up. Okay. Glida, you said? It's 3 syllables. And kinuach. This is important. Okay. Juice, meats, wines, yenot, so yain, yenot. And we just learned michvar is a choice of. Michvar, yenot, bira, meats, tapuchim, so apple meats, so meats, tapuchim, apple juice. Meats, what do we have? Eshkoliot, so grapefruits. Eshkolia is a grapefruit. Well, I wonder what that's from. Eshkoliot. Okay. Meats, tapuzim, of course, and of course, ma'im mineralim. Stress on the first syllables and it has 2 syllables. Glida. Okay, glida. Michvar, not michvar, mivchar. Thank you. Bocher. Okay. מבחר. מבחר יינות, מבחר מיץ, מבחר גלידות. A selection of, right? Okay. I think I'm gonna stop it here, and next week we can look forward to doing a deep dive on davka, which is a challenge. Okay, eshkoliot, eshkolit, not okay, eshkolit and eshkoliot. So eshkolit from the valley of Eshkol. This is why I'm glad I asked. Theta, nice to see you, by the way. The Valley of Eshkol with the giant fruits from Tanakh. So the Valley of Eshkol, Eshkoliot, so Eshkolit, Eshkoliot. So it's because they're big. I love it. I'm glad I asked. Syllables are like a group of sounds that cluster around a vowel. Yes. Okay. Afilu. So we're going to talk about davka next week because that's going to be important. And then we'll kind of skip on to what are we looking forward to in the next week? We'll get to family and plans. Tochnit. Mishpacha v'tochnit. Okay. So we're going to have some fun here. All right. That's what I'm going to call it today. I mean, I know I'm going a lot slower here than I was with Farsi, but I'm also learning it faster by taking my time. Weird how that works. So eshkolim? This says eshkoliot. Zevel's asking about eshkolim. I don't know. But I will remember eshkoliot now as grapefruits, and I'll ask for multiple grapefruits whenever I ask for them. What are my takeaways for today, right? La'amod for being about to do something. What did we say? There was one that was really good. Scrambled eggs, right? Mekush kashot. Betzim mekush kashot. Snos is one. An. Zevel says I'm reading that wrong. I would say eshkoliot. No, eshkoliot. We'll figure it out. So next week we're gonna get all in mishpacha. Zevel, not playing us out with a song because I got demonetized for that. I didn't get a copyright strike, but I did have to cut it out of the last video. What does it say? Eshkolot. Never mind, it's eshkol. Yeah, but they had eshkoliot, didn't they? They transliterated it that way, but I can see that being an error on their part if I've learned anything about this textbook. Grapefruits. Eshkoliot. And they even have yud, vav, tav. The stars indicate a new word. Okay. All right, so I'm going to call it. I'm going to call it today. Learned lots of food-related vocabulary, and yet we did not learn sabich, schug, falafel, schnitzel. Like, there's a lot left to learn. But plenty of time left to do it in. So I'm happy that I can ask for strudel tapuchim. And if I want to say I'm about to leave, I'm about to go, I can say ani omed lalechet, right? I'm gonna go. I'm gonna bounce. So as always, toda rabba. Be kind to one another, and enjoy your week. And for some of you, I'm going to probably see you tomorrow. I'm going to go watch some Easy Hebrew like Zevel recommends. I'm going to reach out to them and see if we can... I'm going to talk to Easy Hebrew or Citizens Cafe in Tel Aviv or some of the Hebrew resources out there and see if we can't work something out because I think that'll be fun and we'll get a lot of audio too. Eshkol is tochniot. Tochniot? Is that... Oh, stress and falafel is wrong. Am I doing it like it's Arabic or something? It's on the second syllable. Falafel. Oh, was I saying falafel? Falafel. Okay, falafel. It's a loan word, right? So falafel. Okay. So I've learned some of that, and of course, strudel, very important. So yeah, I think we covered a fair amount today, and I got a little bit more out of my brain as we're doing this, and hopefully in 6 months I'll just be live streaming in Hebrew, talking about some sort of interesting topic, and not just here like reading vocabulary lists. But this is how I get started. All right. So Zevel, litraot. I say we'll see machar, and everybody else. Toda rabba, litraot, and Shavua tov. Like, have a good week. Enjoy the rest of your week. We're off to a good start, I think. So yeah, talk to you all soon. Arabic tomorrow, and then same bat time, same bat channel for Hebrew and Arabic next week. All right.